Kampala. Good morning, Africa. Good morning, the world at large. Welcome back to Behold Africa. It is a Friday morning here in Kampala for those of us who are not in Uganda. But I'm sure for some other countries like Kenya and Rwanda, it's also early morning. For some other countries, probably it's still a bit too early, and others, it's a bit already into the afternoon hours. But here in Kampala, it is about 7:15 in the morning. And I would like to welcome you back to Behold Africa. As usual, I am your host, Jude Klein, with my co-host.
Navsho, Brenda, good morning, Africa. Habari Subuhi, East Africa, and everybody understands Swahili. We welcome you on our show that runs usually from 7 up to 8:30. We are here to bring you the news happening in the world, happening in Africa, and all those trending stories on the social media platform. Don't forget, Behold Africa is brought to you by the Fundamental Rights and Protection, who say rights matter and they're there to protect them for you. We usually emphasize as you're watching Behold Africa, don't be selfish. Share the link for others to follow and get involved in the discussion. You can get us on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram. You still use the same name, which is Youths Media.
Yes, and you know, as for us who are here in Kampala, I'm sure some of you are heading to work. It's a Friday, it means it's a weekend. Probably some of us are working half day, but some of us usually go into the weekend, probably working up to Saturday. Well, for that matter, I guess you should be rushing to work right now. The jam on the main highways, you know, at the intersections heading in and out of the city is mild, so it's not heavy. But at the same time, you know, if you go in the hours around 8 to 9 to 10, you know, around that time the jam is really hectic. So if you want to get to work as early as possible, you know, I advise you to be on the road by now. Now the weather is okay. It's a little bit chilly, but it's just fine. It has not rained, but it's just fine. So yeah, if you're wearing some light clothes, you will be fine. But in case, you know, just carry a jacket or a sweater for in case. You know how our rain here in Kampala has those random moods, eh?
Yes, sometimes it's unpredictable.
Exactly.
Even where you think that it's not going to rain, it surprises you. Those raindrops and it showers you really good.
Yeah, there are those days when you really see the clouds are clear, and all
and
of a
from
sudden
nowhere
it's raining. So yeah, for those of you who are heading to work or heading into town to run some errands or to do some small business here and there, I advise you to carry a jacket. You know, if you have a backpack, stuff it in there. If you have, for the ladies, I don't know if it can fit in your purse. Yeah.
In the past, no, we usually have those big bags with us that we can carry.
The ones that can carry a whole kitchen.
Yeah, that one. You can call it, but that's how it is.
I keep saying this because I had it somewhere that a lady's bag can carry a whole kitchen in it, including a blender.
Don't forget, don't be surprised if they carry your fridge in that bag also.
I wonder how strong you would be to actually start carrying a whole fridge.
Or a TV. You never know if it's foldable and all that. But that's how the bags are, and that's the interesting part about them.
Can your bag carry a fridge?
Yeah, you can create a...
I don't believe that. Okay, the bag could be able to carry the fridge,
you know,
but can you carry a fridge?
It folds and folds. You can get somebody to help you on it.
To carry a handbag. Interesting.
Anyway, we leave it. We would like to tell us how is your where you are. You can share some of these comments. Are you ready for work? Have you gone for work? Where are you watching us live here? For us, we're here in Kampala, and we're here going to bring you the latest stories, the news happening in Africa, and also we tell you as you're watching us, don't forget to follow the SOPs, because we are all aware of the new variant that is happening, and we're still fighting with the existing COVID-19. Exactly. So you just call upon you, please be cautious and be gracious, and don't even forget, for those in the danger zone areas, please, you, in case of any suspicious act, please report it to the officers, because we know that the terrorism also is still on board. And in our news, we're going to bring you some of these stories.
Yes, and while we're still on the subject of, you know, the Omicron and COVID, we are going into the weekend, and as usual, you know, weekend, me, I usually say it's time for partying, you know, it's time for having fun, it's time for relaxing a bit, it's time for, you know, taking that sweet time to rejuvenate from all the week stress. Maybe not stress, but at the same time, you might need just a reliever, you know. Probably you are planning on going to the beach. Our beach is open here in Uganda.
Yeah, they are.
Okay, so I haven't been to the beach in a while. So funny thing is, I live in Entebbe, but I rarely go to the beach.
They are open. There are those which are open.
Yeah, for those of you who are planning to go to the beach, probably some of you are planning on going on road trips. Brenda had a road trip the previous weekend. So if you're looking for some tips about road trips, she's the right person to run to.
And if you are looking at football experience, please check good, because I'm aware yesterday there was a match, but let us not go into that because some people are still nursing wounds right now. But we shall let us go into straight away into our news, where we all aware of the ADF, where the Uganda launched the attack on the ADF in DRC, and the DRC government gave us a go ahead and they opened our doors. So yesterday, at least the Ugandan troops set up a deployment in DRC anti-rebel operation, and this was also involving the government, soldiers, and everybody in hand.
Yes. So previously, most of these attacks were error, and they were being launched off from the border of Uganda to DRC. So they hadn't established a base within Congo because, of course, some should I say governmental restrictions and border restrictions. But as of yesterday, they got the go-ahead to actually set up to advance deeper into Congo for the hunt and search of ADF, of the ADF group, and to bring them to justice, and yeah, to try and mitigate what is happening. Now, just a reminder, the ADF is the group that has been terrorizing Congo with lots of massacres, rape. A lot of rape victims have come out and said about this, killings, shootings, and at the same time suspected to be the terrorists who have made several terror attacks on many of the East African countries, which includes Uganda, Kenya, and many others. The ADF has advanced as far as Somalia. So yes, but they have a base in Congo. For that matter, Congo has made a coalition with Uganda to try and fight the ADF in their home base, which is Congo. So yes, the Ugandan troopers have advanced into Congo to try and push back the ADF and bring them down.
Actually, day by day, I like the unity and the coming together, and we fight this because we all were in relation to when the president of Kenya and also president of South Africa, when they met and they were looking at how to bring peace and harmony in Africa and how they're going to work hand in hand to fight away these terrorists and all. They said, when terrorists attack, we don't have Kenyan terrorists, we don't have Ugandan terrorists, we don't have Southern terrorists. Terrorists are there to attack all over, and anybody who is a threat, they're there to come up, and we know the impact of them. So it's good if we all unite against this. We're all aware that due to the bomb threats that have been happening, even the bomb attacks that we have been experiencing, like the recent one which happened in Kampala, and also whether at Jubilee House, and also at CPS, it's the suspects were related to the ADF community. So when the two governments come and work hand in hand, it's very interesting. However much there is that opposition from the people, all the natives, all the citizens in the DRC, but still I believe if they manage to convince them well and engage them, then it will all good to go.
Yes. So we have a video clip from the government of Congo as they released a press about what is happening with the coordination between the Ugandan government and the Congolese government in respect to fighting of the ADF. But yes, this story is still building up. A lot is still being done, and I'm seeing Uganda and Congo has always had a very good relationship. But as you know, a country can have a good relationship in terms of trade, but not in military support. You know, you can be very good at doing business, but when it comes to offering assistance in terms of fighting off an enemy, you might not be very willing. But for this matter, I think what is bringing us together is the fact that the enemy at this point is actually terrorizing all of the countries.
We have the unity when it comes to the enemy, but also we don't need to forget that Yeah, sometimes there is that when it comes to issue of security, everybody tries to individualize it as a country, because security is very private, and there are some things you don't need to lay out. So before you go into another country, there are those procedures that you go through.
Exactly.
But in case you reach on an agreement, that means what you're fighting for is for the unity of all.
Common goal.
Yeah, a common goal.
Yeah, but with that, let us play for you the video from the Congolese government as you watch with us. Here is a video.
Est-ce que cette opération
Ugandan troops stepped up their deployment in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo on Wednesday, on the second day of an operation against the notorious ADF rebel group launched in cooperation with Kinshasa. The soldiers were seen crossing there into the DRC on Tuesday after the armed forces launched air and artillery strikes from Ugandan territory. Yesterday in the morning, there was artillery fire and strikes that were identified in the Democratic Republic of Congo. Our men were on the ground. They were supported by forces from the Ugandan Republic. Today, both they, Uganda, and us are facing a common enemy, which is a terrorist who has no borders, who is decimating both Uganda and here. We have an obligation to act together, as in all areas of the world where there is terrorism.
D'agir ensemble, comme dans toutes les zones du monde où il y a le terrorisme.
The target is the Allied Democratic Forces, ADF, which the Islamic State group claims as an affiliate, a group blamed for massacres in eastern DRC and attacks in the Ugandan capital, Kampala. The DRC at the weekend said through a presidential advisor that it approved a Ugandan offer to pursue the ADF on its soil, where the group has holed up since the mid-1990s. On Tuesday, Ugandan Armed Forces spokesman said bombardment has successfully hit their targets, and that ground operations would hunt down terrorists.
Well, as you have seen the video, that is what is happening on the launch about the ADF operation, where we have the jointed unity between Uganda and also DRC, which is interesting. Now, going into, we earlier told you about the new variant, which is the Omicron. The Omicron is I would say it's the new session of COVID-19, but this is more updated, and you need to be very curious and on alert for this, because it started way back in South Africa, and now hearing about it. We have been hearing about it in various countries. When it started in South Africa, and more cases have been developing in European countries, be it Germany, USA also got one of their case, and earlier we're going to tell you more other countries that have gotten some of these cases. But lucky enough, Uganda, we have not gotten any case in relation to this new variant, which is the Omicron. Now, in relation to this, yesterday the Minister of Health, Minister Ochen, she came in and said that the Ugandan scientists are working hand in hand to see how they are going to relate. They're going to carry out studies on how they're going to embark on this new variant, because we are aware that the earlier one that came in COVID-19, the scientists work hand in hand to see how they can avoid it, how they can avoid the spread on it, and also get the various treatment and the vaccination. Because we're all aware, the government, also the president, he said they're going to insert in more money into the scientists so that we can also produce our own vaccine. But in relation to this, then in relation to the new Omicron, scientists are going to study more on what brings it all about, how can we avoid it more, and also the new drugs, maybe it has a treatment, you never know.
Exactly. Now, as Brenda has mentioned, in Uganda we have not yet detected this new variant in any of the cases that have come up. It does not mean we are not having infections. We are still having infections, but that is in terms of the alpha and the first variant. Now, what does this mean for Uganda? It means there is going to be a ramp up of medical supply, which we have been struggling with for the start. You remember the doctors went on strike because of inadequate PPE.
Yeah.
But now the government, of course, just like any other government, they're struggling to actually detect the Omicron variant as soon as possible, since we have established that most of the cases that are rising from South Africa. So just like any other country, Uganda is also taking on this, screening more of the passengers coming from the southern side of Africa. That includes passengers who come in, by flight, and others who might have origins from South Africa.
I like it when they come in at the earlier stage before even get a case.
Exactly.
Because when you spot the enemy from afar, you don't wait for them to first reach you, then you act. You act first before they reach you. So we appreciate that they're going to go into, turn up the books and study more how we can avoid it, the symptoms that are related to the Omicron, but also the fears are that since we're going into the festive season, that there are those chances that it may spread, you never know, but also the existing COVID-19. So on that note, the health minister, Ruth Ochenchi, say that everybody should be very vigilant. Please go for vaccination. She still called again, go for vaccination, because the vaccines are still there. They're in plenty, that they can be enough for everybody. But also, please follow the SOPs, because when you follow, at least you can try to limit the spread of the disease or the virus.
Exactly, yes. So as the scientists are working hard to actually find ways of protecting us, just like the government, we should also do our part and play our role as citizens. What do I mean by this? You have the right to also, take some part in this. That means you wear your mask. For those of us who have not yet vaccinated, please do vaccinate. For those of us who have taken the first jab, go for the second jab in case it is due, and wear your mask, social distance, wash your hands on a regular basis. It is said you can wash your hands after every 25 minutes, which is an ample time, or as I have said before, just sanitizer one of these days is very affordable. So yeah, carry on you a small bottle of sanitizer where after every couple of minutes you can sanitize, because you just never know.
And when you talk about wearing the mask, you should remind them they should wear the mask in the right way.
Exactly.
That helps in prevention of the disease.
Exactly. Most of us wear our mask from here. You wear it properly, then put it around your neck. That is, you're not protecting your neck. You want to cover your mouth and nose so that you have adequate protection from the dust and whatever particles are in the air. And yeah, that way you will be protected to a certain percentage from COVID. Now, for those of you, I know masks are uncomfortable. It's not in our nature to wear masks, but at the same time it's for your own protection. Yeah. And for those of you who say masks are ugly, you can just an outfit like mine, you can simply get a mask that matches that, and you can look at it as another fashion accessory.
Yeah, actually people have come out with they've innovated various masks, and interesting that you can just look at mask, you can see a mask from afar and you put in it because of how it looks.
Exactly.
So that you can look for a mask that can interest you, but as long as it protects you, because there are those masks that they said they don't protect you from COVID-19.
Yes. So it has to be 2 layers.
Yeah, it has to be 2 layers. So it's interesting, but also going back on the washing of the hands, where you said you have to wash your hands after 5 minutes?
25 minutes.
25 minutes. Yeah, those are the days we have gotten into. Earlier we used to know that you only wash your hands when you're going to have food. But times have changed.
Yes,
have changed that you need to work straight and you need to act on you when that world changes, you also have to change it. Because you can never remain the same. Now, still on the Omicron new variant that is going on, we all know that it started in the South Africa. Now, at least in the earlier year, there are various cases, but now either the 24 hours that have passed, the cases have managed to double, and there is a surge of the Omicron case.
Yes. But as you know, the scientists in South Africa and the medical teams in South Africa work tirelessly. Now, just to make a recap, the Omicron variant was discovered in South Africa and Botswana as the first cases. Now, this means the government and the medical sector of South Africa is working very, very hard to actually detect this new variant, because it holds a very big threat to the country's stability and the neighboring countries and probably the entire world at large. We have seen cases in most of the countries that they have been noticed in, be it UK, be it US, be it Germany, and any other country. Most of these countries are saying it's either a traveler from South Africa, it's either someone who had been in South Africa, but at the same time, South Africa is doing its best to detect and try and contain this new variant, the Omicron variant. Now, what does this mean for the people of South Africa? What does this mean for the government of South Africa? It has come out several times to actually sensitize the public not to panic. Yes, the variant is deadly. It is worse than the previous ones. We have seen these facts. It's more resistant to our immune system, and it has high rates of reinfections. Now, with this in mind, the South African government and the health sector have ramped up the checkup, the testing of citizens and travelers and whoever is coming into South Africa and probably leaving South Africa to detect. And for that matter, they have specifically focused on the Omicron variant because they have the capability to actually detect it, since they were even the first to detect that there was a new variant.
But also in relation to that, I read somewhere the president of the South Africa had to travel to the US and meet and to see how they can work along, especially on the travel bans that are existing, exactly. How they can mitigate and how they can avoid the spread of the disease going in further without affecting the travel of the people or the passengers that were ready to move. And because this, all of this puts on standstill of work in the community and also in the country. So I believe maybe if they work there well and they continue discussing something.
And at the same time, it puts a dent on the economy. You have, as most of us know, the international airports of every country bring in a very big revenue, and this contributes to the country's economy. Now that South Africa is being put on the ban from several countries, especially the European countries, this means they're going to halt their flights to these countries, and that means the revenue is not going to come in because those flights are grounded. Now, of course, this is not it's not good for any country. It's not good for business, and so that is why the president of South Africa is trying to have these talks. Yes, he has come out, and I think on Monday where he came out and said, you know what, I don't think banning travel from South Africa is the right way. We should find other alternatives of going about this instead of putting a total ban on flights from South Africa, because yes, the variant is worse than the ones that we have experienced, but at the same time we have the capability, we have more experience, and we have adapted to learning more and finding out more, and we have innovated ways of coming to solutions to combat the virus at large. And that way South Africa should not be put on the red flag from most of the countries, because when it does that, when these countries do that, it's going to bring a very, very big impact, a negative impact to South Africa's economy and the country at large.
Well, that is leaving that. We are going into a short commercial break, but coming up, we are going to bring you the trending stories that is happening in social media, those stories that are catchy that you don't need to miss. Just stay tuned.
My name is Bukenya Rocky, and my dream is to become a physical engineer. So I follow youth media in order to pursue my dream. And I would encourage you to follow youth media on Facebook, Google, Twitter, in order to pursue also your dreams.
My name is Gita William. I'm very good in COVID. Like to start accessing Amazon. I do like, but I do ekitongole website yaffe tusibiza batukuliza abazadde bafundika like abaana baabwe basobola tufollowinga ku platforms zaffe nga like Twitter, Facebook, IG, developing minds zaabwe various technical activities such as abaana basobola oyiga website designing, graphic designing, n'ebirala nga tebagenze kusomera naye nga baliyigidde waka. so tukubiriza abazadde bagulira abaana baabwe data bagezeeko okukola ki okusubscribinga n'okufollowinga UTC media bajja laba nga abaana bafuna ekingi eki obuzibu byokusobola.
Njeko basebo ne banyawo amannya gange itibwa Mugisha Gansimigira nga ndi muyizi okuba Ekitangala High School. Ndi wano okubategeeza nti nze nandyagadde okubeera modo oba kazanyiriza oba actor ajjudde. Era ndi wano okubategeeza nti olwa corona twajiddwa ebintu bingi, tubundiddwa ebintu bingi nga for example TV bakali bwe tuli abaana bangi ffenna tugikozesa tetusobola laba kye twagala at the same time. Kadi for example nze njalabya bamodo baganda bange bagala kyawe kati sawo tubeera tugera kulwanira TV. Kyeneebaza kyenjaba bagamba nti olwa youth media omutimbagano omupya batukoleddeyo youth media tukoleddeyo website yaffe empya wetusobola okujja buli kimu kye twetaaga. So nandyagadde baganda bange abalala kati nga nze ngenda nengoyera ku modo benjagala n'ebirala ebintu bye nandyagadde okulaba. Era namwe mbakubiriza mugende namwe mugende mu youth media musobole okulaba kye mwagala ate ekisinga nabo ya ku masimu gammwe ku laptop byonna byonna gadgeti ze mulina.
Mbere nisoma senior 3 then kwizire COVID-19 wasitopingamu kwonka baletaho omusomo gw'okwegira aha simu kugwizire nafunaho ekitongole nakita UTC media kiine ebikwegise kale ekyo ekitongole kyegese eminyeeto kiine engyeri ekikukwegisamu kiiwe nk'omuntu then waheza nofunamu ekiwabe noyenda kukora mbwenu kanye oyine ekirooto ky'okuba omunamahurire then kanye then twasitokire okwega baza kukifunamu okwo nabo nibaasa kunyongerayo kufunako ekirooto kyangye then nimpabura abazaire bitu okutogorera amasimu ga smartphone then nyo kanye Diana kuri mbe ntine smartphone ndenda kuza kufuna ekyo ekitongole then kumperize nimpabura abazaire okugurira abaana data smartphone then kweyongerayo ha birooto byabo then nanye ebyo nibyo nambinire.
Welcome back from that short commercial break. We welcome you from that break and we welcome you back into the trending stories. Just a reminder, this is still Behold Africa, and in Behold Africa we bring you the latest trends, hot news around the world, and we analyze it at the same time, and at the same time we bring to you the top world stories. Now in this section we talk about the trending stories on social media and those that we know here in Kampala, around Uganda, Africa and the world at large. Now for those of you who might be interested in sending us some of these trending stories, it would be a +1 and we would appreciate it because, you know, this is what we do. So yes, if we have a hot story, just reach us on Youth Media anywhere and we shall respond with immediate effect. Now some of the trending stories that are happening on social media, actually this specific one is not of recent, but it caught our attention because it was a very interesting one. We bring you a story from 2018. It's pretty old, but just a reminder that generosity comes from the heart, and at the same time you do not need to be rich to actually, you know, be of importance. Now This story comes from Kenya, where a couple was dating for a couple of years. That's, to be specific, 5 years, and they were having struggles here and there. And on Valentine's Day, the girlfriend decided to buy her boyfriend a brand new Mercedes, which cost her about 2 million Kenyan shillings. Now that's a lot of money, especially in Kenyan shillings. If I'm to translate it to Ugandan shillings, that's about close to 72 million Ugandan shillings, so which is a tremendous amount of money. But yes, she gave her boyfriend, this present, out of love. It's in spite that they had been together for a very long time,
I'm laughing.
Mm-hmm. Why are you laughing?
But you also say this. She didn't just buy it out of her money. She got a loan.
Exactly.
That is the issue is that she didn't, it's not that she gave the boyfriend the car. That is not the issue. Because that is very okay. But the issue is she got a loan to buy a car for the boyfriend. Well, that is where the gist is, and that is where it's making news all over. Who can do that? Because we all know when it comes to ladies with money releasing it, touching your wallet for a guy.
Yeah, it's very hard.
It takes a lot, but even if when you give them, you're like, I'm giving you a loan. Yeah, there are those ladies who give that. I'm giving you a loan. You're not still demanding.
But I've realized this very trend of ladies being hard on money is usually only here in Kampala, here in Uganda. Yeah. I have had a couple of friends, lady friends, from out of the country, and they are the most generous people, more generous than I. Where at one point you might need something that is too expensive. Yeah, you don't have the money. You ask this person. This is from personal experience. Before when I joined the university, my first year of university, I had a close friend of mine who was out of the not Ugandan, and there is something I needed at that time. I had about a quarter of the money, but I needed it so urgently. So I go up to this friend of mine and I'll be like, hey, so I have this this thing that I want to get, and I'm looking for this amount of money. It was a lot of money for a campus.
Was she only a friend or a girlfriend?
No, just a friend. Here is the thing, just a friend.
Okay.
Not we're in
a
dating.
Disclaimer. You're making a disclaimer.
Yeah, disclaimer. She wasn't my girlfriend. Okay. This is the most interesting bit.
Okay.
So I asked her for 800,000. Yeah, which is kind of a lot of money to just release like that.
800,000 Ugandan shillings.
Ugandan shillings, yeah. And of course, I had about 220, yeah, to add on to make about 1.2. Now, she gave me that money, and after a month, of course, I had done some work here and there. I got back the money, yeah, and I'm like, hey, Jovia, can we link up and I give you your money back? And she goes like, I didn't give you that money as a loan.
Maybe she had interest in you.
No. So this is the thing. This is what I'm saying. Here in Uganda, we have that notion that if you're to help someone, you have to get something out of it.
No, the thing is, the issue. I would say, yeah, what you're saying is true. That her being so hard on money is usually more in Uganda when it comes to ladies. But when you go further, there are those ladies who can go extra mile and release the money.
Exactly.
There are those even who can share the bills when you go maybe to a restaurant. They can share the bills clearly, and they have no. But the problem here is that most ladies don't want to work. We believe that it's okay, they would want to work, but they don't. They believe so much on the receiving end when it comes to men. They always expect money when it comes to men. So it takes them, I would say it takes them years and years to think, to give you money as a gentleman. Not because they don't want, but because you have that tendency. It's only the guy who's supposed to do it, to give you money. You get. So in case if you're female there and you have the money, then like, who am I to give him the? But there are those who would like to give, but they don't have the money. So it also goes back in the finance relationship. How much do you have? But now that is just an excuse, because now when you look at this example, she got a loan and gave it, like she bought a car for the boy. Now a question is posed to you, a lady out there: how far or how deep? I would say, how deep can you go? Yeah. To show love.
Actually, a better question would be, what is the most outrageous act you have? Not outrageous. What is the most generous act you have done for your partner for whichever number of years you have been together? What is that outstanding thing that you as a lady have done for your partner?
Loving them.
Of course, you can't do for someone you don't love. This is out of
No,
love.
they're there. Come on, you can. There are those people who are with people, but they don't love them.
And you be that generous to them? I don't see that happening. This most definitely is out of love, and of course, when you love someone, you're fully committed to them. At the same time, you're 100% invested in them. Yeah, because if I invest in you, at the same time, I'm investing in me.
Well, talking about that story, the reason why we brought you this story, it's for those ladies who think that giving is only for men.
Exactly.
No, but it's both said, and they say love is sharing, love is giving, and love is on both. You can express love in those various ways. You can't tell me you love me yet you don't give me anything.
That is true.
There is no way you can express that love. Be it maybe the sweet messages you send, but all those show that tendency of love.
Yes.
Don't limit yourself. You can go extra mile and don't limit your love, because if you say maybe I would say what you give back always comes back to you. So you can just have to go an extra mile for the ladies. Do something new, something that has not even existed.
Yeah.
Even you can go out of your box, like something you didn't even expect.
Yeah, because as I was saying, once you invest in your partner, at the same time you're investing in yourself. I've seen this especially to guys, like probably with your partner, and you guys, both of you don't have a car. This instance it was the lady who bought it, but in most instances it's the guy who buys the car. Both of you don't have a car, and they once they get that car, most of the time, like 90% of the time, it's the lady who drives that car.
I was going to say it's the gentleman.
No, actually, I've seen 1,000 instances where if there is one car in one compound,
and what does the gentleman
he
do?
would opt for a boda or a taxi or something like that. I've seen this 1,000 times.
That is if he's okay with it.
Most of the time they are okay with it because you want your wife to be safe. That's one thing. Now here is the thing, ladies. Most ladies do not like using taxi. This one is a known fact. Yeah. Now you have a car. You are a husband. Why would you drive and your woman takes a taxi? That's not logical. So most of the time, guys resort to let her drive. I'll take a taxi because as a guy, that's okay.
But
and I wouldn't mind it.
But I think that is very good, because in relation to what the Bible says, a man is supposed to be a protector, is supposed to be a leader. You should show an example. So there's those things that you can lay off and you just leave them to their partner, and as long as you can survive, it does no harm to you.
Yes, but this very story caught our attention. It's not of recent, but at the same time, it caught a lot of attention and stirred up a lot of emotions and a lot of conversation around it, and we decided to bring it to you. But moving away from this very story, we come back to Uganda, where it's the festive season, and what is trending here in Uganda is the transportation fares. We brought to you this one of the transport companies here in Uganda that was taking the eastern route, and now today we're going to bring you another one which is taking the western route. Now, as I've said, it is coming to the festive season. People usually move from the city to up country, or vice versa, where those that are up country want to come and celebrate their festive season, Christmas to be specific, in the city.
Now when you're talking about the transport fees, I would like also if we could create a slide for the new prices or the new fares and also the previous one. At least that could give a clear margin to the people also. But we are going to read you some of these new fares that we are looking at. For those who are going to Masaka, prepare your 20k with you, because that's only for one trip. And those going to Mbarara, it's 40,000. I'm not going to read all, but I'll mention a few. For those who are going to Chisoro, that is 80,000. And going to Kasese, you need to pay 60,000. And those going to Changwali, you need to pay 50, Fort Portal 50. The further Bunduwijo, you need to pay 55, and Bwera is 60. Well, the prices are listed on the document, but still I believe people have to prepare the money. And since you're going to, before you get stranded on the bus terminal, the taxi park, carry this money with you. And also you have to prepare at first, because sometimes you may have the money that will take you, but coming back also.
Yeah, because now
so you need to balance and see, is this trip worth of me going?
Most definitely it's worth. By the time you invest in 50,000 just to make a one trip, most definitely it should be worth it.
No, it's worth, but there is that we can forward it and you say, no, this time I don't have money. Because don't forget, however much you're spending in December, January is waiting. They say January is when the sun burns your wallet. And
but here is the thing. I totally agree. I mean, I totally disagree, because Brenda is saying it's December, you should remember January, but keep in mind this usually comes once for most of us. Now, like for example, I'll give you an example. I live in Kampala, I stay in Kampala, I work in Kampala. This is from the beginning of the year to around 23rd, 24th of December. Now, between 24th and 27th is the only time I have the longest leave off of work to actually catch up with my family. My family, which is not in Kampala.
It's where?
It's not in Kampala. So most definitely I have to travel to actually go and try and catch up with my family who have not seen throughout the year.
Well, you don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that people should not go to holidays and all that. We all believe some of these holidays, if you plan them well, there are those holidays, especially December, there is that amount of money. Or there is that savings you have there. Like those people who say, no, December, I have this reserved for December. But there are those who have not budgeted for it. And December reaches and you are stuck. You have not even received the amount you are expecting to get. Maybe they say they're going to give you a salary increment in December, and they don't give you the salary increment, yet you want to spend big in December. Remember, January is coming and you will not have anything to spend. So what I'm saying, people should spend wisely, spend within your capacity. However much you go an extra mile, don't forget tomorrow is also going to be existing. Just how they say when you're going to have fun, maybe especially when you're going into this festival season, that's when you see the hike in accident. You see more people getting like the domestic violence and all the attacks, the theft. So the people say, always the officials tell us, however much you're going to enjoy, don't forget the reality is still existing. Enjoy wisely. That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
this part I would totally agree, because I've witnessed a number of instances where people go overboard, where yes, enjoyment is to a certain level, but do enjoy responsibly. You don't want to lose your life just because of enjoyment. That's a ridiculous way. They ask you, I like to bring up this thing because you reach heaven and they're asking you, hey, why are you here? And you be like, hey, I died because I was over speeding. That's no reason. I probably died because of old age. That's something, It was your time.
Well, that dying of old age will be a good one.
Yeah, that one is logical. So, but anyways, moving away from that, there is this story that has been circulating Twitter of our other presenter here in Uganda, Canary. Where yesterday he made a lot of stir up on social media, especially Twitter, when he stepped out of his Land Cruiser, and he was of course the door was opened by a uniform officer, and
he was being guarded. And the links all rumors are that maybe he's a spy of government, he's working with the government. You know how people are.
I don't know.
They always figure up something.
I don't know if he's a spy.
But my question is, can't you get somebody to a bodyguard within you,
yes,
or somebody to move with you? How come that if I get a policeman to move with me, it means that I'm working with the government?
Exactly. But a lot of things have started up, and there was this one specific picture which someone tweeted and says, okay, now this makes a lot of sense. This was during an interview. He does investigative journalism.
Yeah, I know.
So there was
he's good at that.
Yeah, and there was that picture when he was with the president at the State House, and it was just a one-on-one. But you in media, you actually get these exclusive interviews with big figures. So that's not something new. And in his line of work, in his field, that is actually his profession. That is what he has to do.
But he joke with Ugandans. Ugandans can always fit whatever story and come back with conclusions, and they give you the story right from the beginning. They give you the conclusion of the story and what's going to happen even in the future before you reach. Those are the Ugandans, you can tell you.
Yeah, this is Uganda for us. But at the same time, in that aspect of him stepping out of the car and the door being opened by a uniform officer, and the allegation that he's working for the government, just basing on that, it's not right, because I've seen very many homes where the gate is actually protected by a uniform officer, not these security,
no, that is
not
very
security
okay.
agencies.
That is very okay to have security, those policemen guarding your houses. We have seen various homes because we need security.
Then
but now moving with a security person, moving with him everywhere, they open for the door. That is there. That gives.
Here is the thing, Brenda. I'm bringing this up because it's in the same relationship. Because, you know, if you're having a police officer at your home, it means he's not going to be opening for you the gate.
Mm-hmm.
At one point, this makes me ask, you know, the MPs, who opens for them the gate?
The policeman.
Exactly. So in that same aspect, wouldn't you say I'm also working for the government?
No, but I mean, opening for the, like, what I'm saying is, opening for you the gate is different for you. Maybe when you go with someone and then somebody who opens for you that door, the car door, when you step out, they open for you, just like I don't say he's not unimportant, he's an important person, but when somebody moves with a policeman or a security within their car or bodyguards, then there are some things that are related. Maybe
I totally disagree, because to me this is actually very normal, because I've seen very many instances where, you know, actually someone even gets a security detail where they get a police trooper to actually escort them somewhere. It could be just a one-time off. You remember last week where there was an instance with his fellow reporter. So this could be one of those reasons why he has had a security guard on him. But that's what's happening on that very story, and some of these are just views from social media and
I would say
speculations
just
here
leave
and
the
there.
young gentleman to be. He's still enjoying his marriage. I would say he's still in the honeymoon mode, because we all know that his wedding with Shasha Ferguson was just recent. So we just have to leave them and enjoy that. Even if they have, however much, you know, you need to stay in the limelight. You can always create those stunts that can also put you more. We leave it to that. Now, still talking about journalists and also those presenters, we go to the presenter who is known as Gabriela Ntate. Well, you told me he didn't know about her very well, but I'll tell you, Gabriela Ntate is one of the presenters who presents a gossip show. A gossip show, on one of the televisions here in Kampala, and she's also a gospel artist. She's good at it. She has produced some of that songs, like maybe Wano, and she's good. She has that nice vocal. Now, pics released on the social media, we saw some of her pics where she was putting on a wedding gown, and also they seemed so much that they were clear that she was already getting married, or she had gotten married to the new spouse and all that. And this caught us by surprise, because we didn't have any rumors that maybe she was going to get married or what. We are just surprised with that. Oh, boom.
These are the kind of surprises I enjoy.
You enjoy?
Yeah, these are the kind of surprises you enjoy, because, you know, out of the blue, someone is getting married, someone is having a baby.
I just hope you don't surprise me like that, because I need to prepare for your wedding and be there. So just don't surprise me like that. But I will tell you now, the reality about or behind her putting on that gown, it was finally clear when she went on and posted a pic of her. It was just, she was shooting, this was a song. And the song is known as Promise in Kwagala, and it's produced by Joshua Wanda, and the writer, she's still the same writer in Tata. When you listen to the song, my goodness, it's still, she never disappoints. She has that sweet, nice voice, so she's good at what she does, and it's very good. Now, when she posted this, people were like, was already in the past when she had posted the picture, she didn't caption anything, but she just posted pics of her in the wedding gowns, and people were like, oh, congratulations. You know when you congratulate somebody not knowing, but you have seen she's not the first to do it, but with her it was different. I was like, really? I didn't see this coming. But now hope this is clear that this was just a movie, a video shoot for one of our songs, which is called as Promise in Kwagala. You should listen it out, it's good.
Yeah. But anyways, to close up this segment, trending stories, we shall dive into the trending trailer today, which is a movie trailer, and as usual we bring you the movie trailer in this very section of the show, so that you could look out for the movie if it's out, and if it's a future movie, you can await for it in the future. Today's trending trailer is Spirit Untamed. Now, it's an animation, and as usual,
I was going to ask you, is it an animation? Because when I just hear animations, I'm always waiting for them, because animations are really good for me.
Yes, Spirit Untamed is an animation, so be assured to watch it with your kids, with your siblings, with your little ones, your nephews and sorts, because, you know, animations are family rated. So yeah, do enjoy it. The movie is out. I think it came out in June. So yes, the movie is out. You can find it in movie shops, or you can stream it online, whichever way you prefer. But yes, the movie is out. So as you watch the trailer, please do look out for the movie as you enjoy it in full swing. But with that, let us dive into the trailer. Here is the trailer. Yes, that is the trailer of Spirit Untamed. And I hope you enjoy the movie as you hunt for it in the movie libraries or as you stream online. But with that, we go into a short break. When we get back, we dive into the top world stories. I do not want you to miss out on this section because there's a lot more in stock for you. So don't go anywhere as we get back from this short break.
My name is Navda Deora, a student at Nico campus. My future dream is to become a lawyer, but due to this pandemic, schools are closed. But Senjera, Skyaya, Sizunga, Bela Siyange, nengenda ku UTC Media, kuliko programu ezenjalo ziyamba abavubuka oku brainstorming obwongo bwabwe bayigirako ebintu byenjawulo. N'olwekyo namba abazadde bonna eyo gye bali bagule abaana baabwe smartphones ne data basobola okukozesa UTC Media. Osobola gisanga ku Facebook, Instagram, Twitter.
I'm Sesanga Hilary. You can call me Hilary Panda. I'm 18 years old and I'm a vocalist of Form 4 going to A level. I study from Kachiri Secondary School. I follow up UTC Media to fulfill my dream because UTC Media has done more than harm, which is helping more people, as in giving them confidence about what they are supposed to be in future, giving them morale, giving them everything. So I thank UTC Media.
My name is Bukenya Roke, and my dream is to become a physical engineer. So I follow UTC Media in order to pursue my dream. And I would encourage you to follow UTC Media on Facebook, Google, Twitter, in order to pursue also your dreams.
By names of Gita William, engeri gye tuli mu COVID, like tetusobola ku accessing amasomero ade like bataddewo ekitongole website yaffe eya UTC Media nga tukubiriza abazadde bafundika like abaana baabwe basobola tufollowinga ku platforms zaffe nga like Twitter, Facebook, IG, developing minds zaabwe various technical activities such as abaana basobola oyiga website designing, graphic designing n'ebirala nga tebagenze kusomero naye nga baliyigidde waka. So tukubiriza abazadde bagulire abaana baabwe data bagezeeko okukola okusubscribinga n'okufollowinga UTC Media bajja laba nga abaana bafuna ekingi eki obuutuya by'okusomero.
Commercial break. you're still on Behold Africa. Behold Africa is brought to you by the Fundamental Rights and Protection, who say your rights matter. They're there to protect them for you. And as you're watching us, you can follow us on other social media platforms, be it Youth Media, on Facebook, on YouTube, we still use Youth Media, on Instagram, you're also there, but also on Twitter, catch up, we are also using Youth Media. But I tell you, as you are watching us, get engaged in the discussion. Please share your comments. We shall read them always on the air and tell you more about what is happening. And please share the link for others to follow us and enjoy this show that happens from exactly 7 up to 8:30 from Monday to Friday. Well, Behold Africa, we bring you what is happening in the world, what is happening in Africa, and also those trending stories that happen on the social media platforms that you don't need to miss. Now, for those who need computer literacy services, you need maybe photocopying services, you need internet and all that, you go to Moloza Computer Training Center. You can find them at Kasanalo Well Mabanda. For more information, you can get them on 07707 07536. And I remind you, for those who need, you're constructing, you have a friend who is constructing and they're looking for those genuine windows, the metal windows, you need water drillers, you need roller shutters, don't go anywhere, go to God's Grace. God's Grace are located on Bukasa, Sentema, Chiseka, and you can get them on the number which is 078 1315 998, other line which is 0759 9377206. Well, in this segment we go into the top world stories. What is happening all over the world that you didn't see or you have not found anywhere? Well, on Behold Africa, today's show we have been talking about the new variant that is happening, the Omicron. It's still leading all over. We're all aware this new Omicron started in South Africa and it has been spreading all over. Now, going into the officials say, or the health experts say that this has spread all over other countries. Yesterday, it told you that now the total number of cases of the new Omicron is 23 by then, but now they're going to increase day by day. We also within their country, South Africa, we told you a story of how the Omicron has spread all over the country. So what are you doing out there? Just need to stay curious and follow the SOPs and go for vaccination.
Yes.
Now they say this new Omicron, it has managed to go even
Nigeria,
it's there. Also in Netherlands, it's there, and other countries that are going to read to you as follows.
Yes. Now, of course, the officials kept on looking into the breakout of the new virus, such as the Omicron, and they say, by the time it was discovered, it was already out of Africa. It was already spread out of South Africa into other countries. Why do they say this? They say this based on the notion that, most of the cases that are being discovered in most of these countries are either 10 days or even more days old. For now, I think after the discovery of this new variant, it's been only 8 to 9 days.
No, they're roughly like 10 days.
Yeah, okay.
10 days.
So by the time they've discovered these new cases, the virus has already spread out of South Africa. So they say by the time they discovered it might have already spread way too far. We're going to Nigeria, where they have actually discovered a case which is in relationship with the new Omicron variant. And with this, the Nigerian government is working very, very tremendously to get its population vaccinated, but at the same time to also help, it's working very tremendously to find a way of detecting more of these cases, because as I've told you before, in most African countries, including Uganda, we are lacking in the infrastructure to actually fight this. Now, keep in mind, Nigeria is Africa's most wealthy country, so they have a more sophisticated way of a more sophisticated environment to deal with this, but at the same time, it doesn't put them on the exception line of staying clear of the new virus or COVID at large. We have a video we're going to play for you from South Africa as they address the Omicron and COVID at large, and coming up with ways of how to mitigate this and what measures are going to be put up. Of course, with the breakout of the new Omicron, suggestions from most countries are probably going into a lockdown or putting travel bans on several countries. But Nigeria has not yet considered this, but this is on the table even for most countries. We have seen where Australia went into lockdown. Austria went into lockdown. Netherlands, same thing, and it has started up a lot of protests over there.
And they went into lockdown not because of this new Omicron. No, they went into the lockdown because of the existing COVID-19, where the new cases had arisen. Now, that means it has been there, but because people have been traveling, they didn't know that it was. They had traveled from South Africa and they went into California, and it was, I think it was 1 month. Yeah, it was 1 month. That's when they realized it. That means this person has been moving within the community, not knowing they had the Omicron. Exactly. So I believe you're going to see more and more of these cases. But we tell you out there, if you are in your home, please stay very good. If you knew COVID-19 was the only one, no, the new Omicron and the new variant is the one happening now.
Yes, but with that, let us take you into a video that was released from Nigeria, and it's talking about the new Omicron, how it was discovered, and what the government is doing about it to try and mitigate the effects of COVID in general. Here is a video for you.
Ghana has announced that its scientists have detected cases of the Omicron variant in passengers who arrived in the country 10 days ago. Speaking at a launch event for COVID-19 Vaccination Month, Director General for Ghana's Health Service, Patrick Kuma Abuach, said the cases had come mainly from Nigeria and South Africa. In response, Ghana's Health Minister announced plans to take mobile vaccination units to various areas and to people over the age of 15.
Will continue to be available at all health facilities and temporary health posts to administer the COVID-19 vaccine to all persons 15 years and above. In addition, mobile teams will move to towns and villages where they will be located at schools, churches, mosques, bus stops, barriers, and market areas to vaccinate people.
Meanwhile, in the Nigerian capital, Abuja, on Wednesday, public servants queued to receive their vaccine after the government made it mandatory to be jabbed or present a negative COVID-19 test result done in the last 72 hours in order to enter public buildings for work. The measure, which took effect on Wednesday, is part of a national campaign to increase the number of people vaccinated amid concerns around the new Omicron variant.
We don't know how more dangerous this one will look like. Nobody knows how devastating this will make the situation. Nobody knows what the economy will go again, because the economy may go very bad, like it went earlier on, it may go worse.
Nigeria is the first West African country to have recorded the Omicron variant since scientists in Southern Africa detected and reported it.
Yes, that is all the way from Nigeria about the vaccination, about the discovery of the new Omicron variant and COVID in general. Moving on from Nigeria, we go into Australia, where they have also discovered the first case with the Omicron variant as an infection. Now, we had already told you earlier that Australia was on its way to a lockdown previously, before the discovery of the new Omicron. But with the discovery of the new Omicron, of course, it's still, even up to this point, they're not taking, rash decisions of taking the entire public into a lockdown. But as we said, most of this is putting under consideration. Now, the government of Australia came out with a few things that they listed, about what they know and have discovered about the new Omicron. And at the same time, of course, several countries have come out to list this. We have charts and graphs that we're going to share with you about what we know about the new variant, which is called the Omicron. Now, what is known so far, the recent COVID-19 evolution is suspected to have occurred in an immunocompromised person during a chronic infection. What does this mean? This person was already immunized, actually vaccinated, but still the variant has recurred into that person. It has about 26 to 32 spike protein malnutrition. What does this mean? It attacks the protein. Now, previously the Delta variant was attacking about 20 to 25. Now, this one attacks about 26 to 32. What else do we know so far about the Omicron? We have, for comparison, the Beta variant had 3 mutations and the Delta had 2. That means, 26, 32 compared to 2 and 3 is a very, very vast number. What else do we know about the new Omicron? It is spreading very fast. This one here, we have already noticed it, within a span of about 10 days. That's less than a fortnight. That's about 14 days. We have seen cases in the UK, cases in Czech Republic, cases in Germany, cases in the US, Nigeria, South Africa, of course, where it originated. So yeah, it is spreading very, very fast compared to the first variants. It is most likely more transmissible. It means just like the previous ones, they were transmissible, but this one is more likely the most transmissible among them all. What else do we know about the new Omicron? It has 10 mutations in the protein that helps it bind to the ACE. These are medical terms, so I might not be able to elaborate them properly, but you can look this up and you can get full details. Based on its primary evidence, there may be a high risk of reinfection. So this happens that even if you infected with the first variant or the first COVID, it is more likely that you will actually you'll fall into the new COVID. Now, as I've talked about the bans from several countries, it's not only South Africa that has been banned, and these bans are temporary, they're not permanent. Of course, if it was permanent, it would become a very big challenge to the countries that it has been, the countries that have undergone the ban. But the countries that have been temporarily been banned from, accessing marine countries as of December 1st, 2021 are 8, and we have a list for you. We have Zimbabwe, we have Botswana, where the first case was detected. We have Namibia, South Africa, which has been the biggest stock. We have Lesotho, we have Mozambique, we have Malawi, and Eswatini. Now, these are the countries that are on the ban for now due to the breakout of the new variant of COVID, which is called the Omicron. But yes, this is in the world of COVID, and as we have been lamenting here on the show, keep vigilant and we look out for COVID, and by wearing your mask, by keeping SOPs, by social distancing, this is how we are going to fight COVID in general and keep ourselves safe from the new variant, which is the Omicron.
Now, when you talk about the new, I hope that we have spread the language, we have given you the information how it spreads and how some of the symptoms and what you should know about it. What I picked more about and what we all know, what you can even spot out, it's spreading at a high rate and a high speed. Exactly. That means if it's spreading at a high speed, also you need actions. You need to act fast. And those OPs, if you have been maybe reluctant and slow, please take action. If you have been slow, you have not gone for vaccination, take action, because when you look at the Omicron, it's not on a slow pace, but it's on a high rate. Now, we go into the relation between Turkey and Liberia, where the first ferry between Turkey and Liberia set sail after 40 decades. Well, that is, when I read this, it caught my attention. I was like, really, after 40 years?
Yes. It is a very long time, but keep in mind
that is if you tend to even forget maybe it will ever move.
Of course, yeah, you can. But these vessels of transport, they're very well built, and at the same time, it can take a very, very long time, even if it doesn't move. But if it's still maintained, then it will still be in operation. But yes, as of yesterday, the first ferry made its journey from Turkey to Libya. Now, keep in mind, of course, Libya has been under stress from after the attack on Libya and the killing of the president Omar Gaddafi. A lot of things went into the ashes, into smoke. That included the economy, transportation, tourism. A lot of things went into the shambles. Now, of course, Turkey and Libya during those years, they had a very good working relations in terms of tourism, transportation, and of course trade. Now, this made it possible by one of the ferries which made the journeys from Turkey into the Libya through the channel.
And that is after Gaddafi had gone, because I don't believe when Gaddafi was still around they could even bring it.
Well, that's the thing. It was in operation when he was around.
Okay.
Yeah, when he was around. When after some years, when he got into power, it was halted for some time. Then at the same time, when he left power, not left, when he was killed, there was talks of bringing it back. But again, that time there was a lot of chaos within Libya. You can't begin sustaining a ferry that is making trips in and out of the country when there is one ongoing war.
That's why I said all these come in after he has gone. Well, now I think it's because they're looking at how Libya can stabilize, especially when it comes to the economy, also on the transportation. You're all aware we're going into December. They're preparing the elections where one of the son to Gaddafi is involved into the election. He's also going to stand as the president. So that is a new thing that we are seeing, the ship sailing. It's good.
Yes. Now we have a video about this ferry and a documentation of how the citizens, the Turkey citizens and the Libyan citizens are celebrating for the return of this ferry, because keep in mind this is going to boost the economy one way or another because of the tourism sector. Moving from Turkey to Libya is going to become very easy, and yeah, it is a good thing for Libya and Turkey and improving their relationships at large. Here is a clip and a documentation for you.
For the first time in 40 years, a passenger ferry on Wednesday set sail from the Libyan port of Misrata to Turkey's Izmir province. Libya has not been serviced by any international ferry for the past 25 years. Travel links with and within the country was severely disrupted by the 2011 insurgency that overthrew longtime dictator Muammar Gaddafi and years of unrest which followed. We are looking forward during the coming period to a number of other trips. We have approvals from Alexandria and Tunisia. After a break of more than 40 or 50 years, Libya returns to sailing the sea with this ship. Praise be to God. During Gaddafi's rule from 1969, the country was under sanctions and largely closed to tourists. Airports were severely damaged in Libya's struggle, and many airlinks were suspended, but some have resumed since an October 2020 ceasefire between the main rival camps.
Yes, that is all the way from Libya, and that is what's happening in the world of transportation. At least the country is coming to some sort of stability.
Yeah,
when you see the resumption of such things, it means at least the country is coming to some sort of stability. We have seen that it has become one of those ghost countries in Africa where you do not hear much about it. But at least for 2021, we have seen a lot coming out of Libya, and yeah, we hope there will be a change and stability, especially when it comes to peace, and they go back to the normal how things used to be, and even better with that ship also coming in and sailing to Libya. That is going. It's interesting. Now going into Russia, and where the Russian troops must own the Ukrainian borders. We all know how Russia is. They're go-getters. They can go an extra mile. Well, with this new Russian trip launching their mass to the borders and all that, this created an alarm to all other countries like maybe the USA and other European countries who are saying, are they looking for war? Because we all know when it comes to Russia, they can go an extra mile and they will do whatever they want to do. We all know President Putin is a person who is a little bit arrogant. Yeah, because now when even if they tell him not to do this, he will still go ahead. The officials who had told him not to go hand in hand with the mission, because they had already launched it earlier, but they had paused it because they were advised not to do it. But now they came in and managed to launch these troops to the European borders, and this has created an alarm with the US and also other European countries who are on the alert that this may bring out a war that is going to break within the other countries that are spreading and they are located within. Now we shall continue the more of that stories, but we would like to go into the sports. A lot of sports, because somebody texted me like we're waiting for that part of the sports, because we're all aware that yesterday there was a match, but I would like to know and what really happened yesterday's match, who won and who is now crying.
Who is crying?
Well, there are a lot of tears because this match was very much anticipated, as I told you about it yesterday. That is the match between Arsenal and Man U United. Now, of course, yesterday was a Thursday. It happened around 11:30 Ugandan time. For those of you who watched it in your own time, you can try to convert that. But yes, it happened around that time. It was a very epic match. But here is the thing about this specific match. There was a lot of build-up before the match and after the match. There was a lot of talking, there was a lot of speculation, but someone told me they were being called like 1,000 times before the match. This is a Man U supporter who is
why were they being called 1,000 times?
You know, here is the thing. Before every big match, there is always that anticipation. There is always that bragging from the fans from both teams. Yeah,
which is okay.
Which is okay, yes. But here is the funny thing. He was telling me a story in the morning, and he goes like, you know, these Arsenal guys were calling me like 1,000 times. Hey, are you watching? Because keep in mind, I think Arsenal is the one that scored the first goal. Yeah, and his phone was blowing up. And after the match, of course, after Man U winning, just to bring it up to see to you, Man U won 3-2 against Arsenal. And yes, after the match, he decides, okay, you know what? I have won. It's my turn to also call. He tries calling them, and none of them were either picking up.
But that's a symbol of cowardness. You need to stay like a mad when we all know that. Yeah, because when you go for a match or if you go for any sports game and any game, you expect either to win or lose. So it may be on your side, but there's that side when you are the one on the word and you're like, no, I'm going to win, and at the end of the day it comes out you lose.
Yeah, but well, you see, with most of these matches we always anticipate who is going to win and who is going to lose.
And when you talk about it, reminds me, you know, when you're playing, it really happens in kids.
Yes,
when you're playing with kids and maybe they see that they're winning and when finally you win over them, they decide to leave everything to you, and even if you evoke, please come and replay that they don't want because they've lost.
Yes, now we're going to be showing you some of the highlights from this very match. But what you should know, Arsenal scored the first goal in the 13th minute, which was equalized in the 40th minute. So this is where now the hype started. Basing on the two groups. Yeah, Arsenal scored the first goal. Of course, definitely, you know, we are winning. The moment you take the lead, you say we're going to keep in the lead, right? And then Man U took the second, equalized in the 44th minute. And yeah, you know, the match was like, yes, now it is equalizer. Let us see who's going to score the next one. Yeah. After that, we had Arsenal score the second goal, and now things started getting hot after this. Man U scored the third. The second to equalize with Arsenal in about Man U scored the second goal in the 52nd minute, while Arsenal equalized in the 54th minute. And then, of course, this was halftime, and when they went into in the break and they came back for the second half, Man U managed to thrash them with the third goal, of which two of these goals which were scored, the one which was scored, the second goal of Man U and the third goal of Man U were scored by the one and only Ronaldo, the man of the match, I would say for this very instance. Yes, they should be playing for you some of the highlights from this game, because this is very interesting.
You know why I'm laughing? Because hope they play those highlights, because we know the person who is on the mix may not play them. You know why?
Yes, but
that's how games move.
Yes, but with this, Ronaldo became the first player in history to score 800 goals in official matches, and he has done this while he is at Manchester United. So yeah, it is kudos to that young man. 800 goals in official games. So yeah, Ronaldo has become the first player to score 800 goals. This is history in the making. Of course, that means he still has more goals to score and a lot more to do for the team in general.
So I think they should be playing some of the highlights, as you said. Yeah.
But anyways, we're going to be playing for you those highlights as we go on with more shows. The sports show will be coming to bring you the full details of these matches and what happened. For us, we just summarized a few things here and there, what caught our attention, yes, so that you await for the full details from the match.
Well, talking about that, I came across something where somebody said, well, this is something related to And when I read this to one of the Manchester United say they will do this again. They were in 10 years back where Manchester managed to score 8-2 Arsenal, and they say they'll also do that again. So you should just be on the alert. You never.
Not sure if that record can be broken.
Why not?
It's basing on the current statistics and all that. It would be very hard. It's doable, but it will be very, very hard, and it will take a tremendous. At least not in this very season, I would say. Second leg is coming up between Manchester United and Arsenal, of course. But I don't see the two teams clashing in such a terrible manner like what happened 10 years ago. But
and we leave it like the way it is, and we hope for those who won, they're very happy. And please, those who are the opener, next time don't switch off the phone, because it never know, it may be you who is winning, and you need to call them, and they also hang up. Well, this marks the end of our show, which is Behold Africa. Behold Africa is brought to you by the Fundamental Rights and Protection. But before we end the show, as we close it up, we bring you the African proverb that there is something for you to learn and to move on with in your day-to-day life, especially if you are going to work and you're working. What needs to stick in your mind? And we share that with Jude.
Yes, it's a Friday. We're going to close this show with Friday's African proverb, and yes, to take us into the weekend, something to learn from it. Today, it's 3rd of November, so we shall be coming back on Monday. But today's African proverb is: the heart is like a goat that has to be tied up. The heart is like a goat that has to be tied up. What is the meaning of this? People are not easily satisfied. They want lots of things. Yes, this is true.
Yeah, that
this
is
is very true. People are not easily satisfied. We all want a lot of things, of which some of these things, we might not get.
When you talk about people are never satisfied, they want a lot of things. Well, it is very true, but also you need to learn from it. You can never consume everything. At least at times you need to be contented with what you have. However much you need to look further and project other, because even the little you have, not everybody has it. So first of all, before you want more, first appreciate the little you have.
At times, some people just want everything.
The thing is, you may want everything, it's okay, but first appreciate the little you have, because you never know, somebody out there doesn't have what you have. There are those people who say, I want to eat this, I want to eat this. But even when they have the availability for something to eat, they just waste it to life. Yet we all know that those people who are starving to death, they don't have. I'm talking about these people there are those who leave food on the plates and all that. But even others, so I would say just appreciate the little you have. Before even you want more, appreciate the little you have. And we have a much we say we are never satisfied. Yeah, that is a human being, and that is how because you need to strive better and more push, unless you remain reluctant and you will not be focused. This marks the end of our show. It has been me, Nabshaw Brenda, bringing you Behold Africa. I'm usually here with Jude Klein, bringing you these stories from exactly 7 to 8:30 from Monday up to Friday. See you next time. That will be Monday. Hope you enjoy your weekend.
See you around.